The pale light of the twin moons cast eerie shadows across the barren landscape of Minara 4, the remote outpost world on the fringes of the Galaxial Federation. Standing motionless amid the desolate plains, Commander Zrig clicked his mandibles in contemplation, his four eyes scanning the horizon. His troops, a seasoned platoon of war scouts from the Zentarian cluster, were restless, their carapaces gleaming under the night sky. Today was significant. For centuries, the Federation had monitored the Sol system, intrigued but unthreatened by the primitive species blossoming on the third planet. Humans, they were called. Technologically backward, yet curiously inventive. Reports had filtered through the command channels. Rapid advancements, aggressive expansions, a species punching above its weight. "Commander!" clicked Lieutenant Nixar, approaching with a data slate. "The latest scans are in. The human military numbers far exceed our estimates." Zrig extended a limb to receive the slate, his sensory hairs twitching as the data streamed before his eyes. Millions. No, billions. The figures were astronomical, bordering on the impossible. How could a species so young muster armies so vast? "They breed like the Skorlix of Vex Prime," muttered the commander, his voice a series of harsh guttural tones. "But numbers alone do not win wars. Prepare the scouts for a closer look. We move at dawn." The next morning, as the first light of the twin suns pierced the thin atmosphere, Zrig's platoon maneuvered their sleek vessels toward Earth. The journey was swift. The warp tunnels had been refined to near instantaneous efficiency over millennia of interstellar travel. Earth was a blue and green jewel suspended in the vastness of space, its beauty belying the turmoil that awaited. As the scouts entered the lower orbit, cloaking devices engaged, they were met with a bustling network of satellites, primitive yet effective in their own right. "Initiate the scan," ordered Zrig, his gaze fixed on the main screen. The display lit up with countless dots, each representing a human military asset. From the dense clusters in areas marked Russia, China, and United States, to the smaller yet still formidable gatherings in places like India and Brazil, the scope was unimaginable. A hologram flickered to life, showing a bustling Earth city, its streets swarming with humans. Their vehicles, crude compared to Zantarian technology, nonetheless filled the roadways, a never-ending stream of movement and noise. "Curious creatures," observed Nixar, his tone a mix of admiration and disdain. "They possess a kind of chaotic resilience. It's fascinating." Zrig nodded. "They have something we lack, Lieutenant. Call it spirit, or perhaps folly. We must understand it better before we engage." The decision was made to observe and learn. The war scouts dispersed, each unit tasked with gathering intel from a different part of the globe. Zrig chose for himself the American continent, landing discreetly in a secluded desert area. As night fell on Earth, the commander ventured out alone, his cloaking device rendering him invisible to the naked eye. He approached a human military base, massive in scale, its perimeter guarded with a surprising level of sophistication. He watched as vehicles patrolled, soldiers marched, and aircraft soared overhead. Their technology was not as primitive as first assumed. Communications, weapons, and logistics. It was a fully integrated military force, one that could potentially stand against a Federation onslaught. With a flick of his antenna, Zrig recorded everything, transmitting the data back to his ship. The human puzzle was complex, their numbers vast, their capabilities growing. A direct assault would be folly. He returned to his vessel, deep in thought. The war scouts had underestimated these humans. It was time to report back. The Federation needed to rethink its strategy. As he set the coordinates for his return journey, Zrig couldn't shake the feeling that the humans were not just a species to be conquered, but a formidable force that could won. As Commander Zrig's sleek scout ship cut through the cosmos on its return journey to Minara 4, the data collected from Earth was already stirring debates across the highest echelons of the Galaxial Federation. The Council of Elders, a body of the most venerable leaders from over 100 worlds, convened in an emergency session to discuss the findings. Zrig landed his craft in the shadow of the Federation's command spire, a towering structure of gleaming metal and pulsing energy cores. The atmosphere was tense. The implications of the human military's unexpected scale and sophistication were not lost on anyone. "Commander Zrig, you have the floor," announced Elder Marnix, his voice echoing in the vast circular chamber. Stepping forward, Zrig activated the holographic projector he had brought with him. Images of Earth, its cities, and its teeming military forces flickered into view around the room, drawing murmurs of concern and curiosity from the gathered assembly. "Elders, what we have witnessed on Earth challenges our preconceptions," began Zrig, his mandibles clicking with emphasis. "The humans possess not merely numbers but a burgeoning prowess in warfare. They are adaptive, resilient, and fiercely protective of their world." A hologram zoomed in on a human military exercise, displaying tanks maneuvering through rough terrain, fighter jets executing complex formations, and soldiers engaging in live-fire drills. "Elder Sarix, you have studied their culture. What do you make of this?" asked Zrig, turning to a figure known for his deep analysis of alien societies. Elder Sarix, his antennae twitching thoughtfully, replied, "Humans are driven by a compelling force of survival and victory. They unite under threat, and their history is steeped in overcoming adversities. We must not underestimate their capacity for war, nor their potential as allies." The suggestion of alliance hung in the air, a radical departure from the Federation's usual stance of dominance or indifference toward lesser advanced civilizations. "Elders, I propose we initiate a covert contact protocol," suggested Zrig. "We need to engage with them, understand their leaders and their people more deeply before we can decide our course of action." The proposal sparked a heated debate. Some elders argued for immediate military readiness, fearing that the humans could become a threat to the stability of the Federation. Others, influenced by Sarix's analysis, supported Zrig's call for a diplomatic approach. Finally, the Council reached a consensus. They would send a delegation to Earth, disguised with the Federation's best cloaking technology, to initiate secretive talks with human leaders. Zrig was appointed to lead this critical mission, given his first-hand experience with the planet. Preparations began at once. Zrig selected a diverse team, including diplomats, scientists, and military strategists. They trained intensively, learning Earth's languages, studying its politics, and simulating possible scenarios of first contact. Meanwhile on Earth, oblivious to the alien scrutiny, tensions among human nations were rising. News of unusual sightings and unexplained phenomena had begun to leak to the public, fueling conspiracy theories and fears of an impending global conflict. The Federation's scout ships, still in orbit around Earth, intercepted and analyzed transmissions revealing a planet on the brink. National leaders spoke of unity and preparedness, while military forces were put on high alert. As Zrig's team completed their preparations, the commander felt the weight of his task. Not only was the future of the Federation's interaction with humanity at stake, but perhaps also the peace and balance of the entire galaxy. With the team ready, the cloaked vessel set course for Earth once more. As the stars blurred into the warp tunnel's luminescent trails, Zrig pondered the upcoming encounter. Would the humans be open to dialogue, or would their fears lead to confrontation? The answers lay on Earth, amidst its bustling cities and restless populations, where the fate of two civilizations would soon intertwine. User. The cloaked vessel commanded by Zrig approached Earth under the cover of night, its advanced stealth technology rendering it invisible not only to human eyes, but also to their most sensitive detection systems. The ship slipped into a geostationary orbit above North America, a region identified as a strategic point of interest due to its political influence and military capabilities. Inside the ship, Zrig convened his team in the briefing room. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and uncertainty. The team members, each an expert in their respective fields, reviewed their roles meticulously. Diplomats were brushing up on their knowledge of Earth's diverse cultures and political structures, while the scientists set up instruments to monitor any ecological or technological impacts of their presence near the planet. Remember, we are here not as conquerors, but as observers, and if possible as diplomats, Zrig reminded his crew. Our goal is to establish a line of communication with their leaders, to understand their intentions and capabilities, and to assess the possibility of peaceful coexistence. The plan was risky. The team would deploy in small groups, each tasked with gathering specific intelligence and gauging the potential for diplomatic engagement. They were equipped with translation devices, human-like holographic disguises, and emergency extraction protocols in case their true identities were at risk of exposure. The first group, including Zrig and a seasoned diplomat named Zealand, was to land near Washington, D.C. The area was a hotbed of political activity and the decision-making center of the United States, one of Earth's most powerful nations. The descent was smooth. The advanced Federation shuttle, barely the size of a human car, touched down in a secluded woodland area under the cover of darkness. Zrig and Xylan activated their holographic disguises, taking on the appearance of human government officials. Their clothing and badges were perfect replicas, indistinguishable from the real items. Moving with purpose, they approached a high-security government facility that their intel had identified as a possible meeting point for major political figures. The cover story was meticulously planned. They were to pose as advisors from another state, here to discuss urgent national security issues. The ruse worked. The guards, seeing their credentials and the urgency of their demeanor, allowed them entry without undue delay. Inside, Zrig and Xylan were struck by the complexity and vibrancy of human interaction. The hallways were bustling with activity, and conversations about security, economy, and international relations filled the air. Using their advanced translation devices, they listened and learned, absorbing as much information as they could while making their way to the conference room where a meeting on global security was scheduled to take place. As they took their seats at the table, Zrig felt the gravity of the moment. Here they were, alien scouts sitting among Earth's leaders, unseen and unknown. The meeting began, and the humans discussed their concerns about recent unexplained activities and sightings around the world, activities that were undoubtedly caused by Xantarian scout ships. The conversation provided Zrig and Xylan with valuable insights into human fears and their readiness for conflict. It was clear that Earth's leaders were on high alert, yet also desperate for answers and solutions that would avoid escalation into global warfare. As the meeting adjourned, Zrig and Xylan discreetly made their exit. Once safely back in the shuttle, they shared their findings with the rest of the team. The data was alarming but also encouraging. While humans were wary of external threats, they seemed genuinely committed to preserving peace. The mission continued, with other groups making similar contacts around the world, each gathering crucial pieces of the puzzle. As Zrig reported back to the Federation, he emphasized the potential for diplomacy, but also warned of the delicate nature of their operations. The stage was set for a deeper engagement with humanity, but the path forward was fraught with complexity and peril. Zrig knew that the decisions made in the coming days would shape the future interactions between Earth and the Galaxial Federation, potentially setting the course for a new era of interstellar relations. As the various teams of Xantarian scouts continued their covert operations around the globe, gathering a diverse array of data about human military readiness, cultural dynamics, and political alliances, a complex picture of Earth began to emerge in the halls of the Galaxial Federation. Each report underscored the unpredictability and potential volatility of initiating direct diplomatic relations with human governments. Back on Minara 4, Zrig convened a crucial strategy session with the Federation's High Command and the Council of Elders. The holographic chamber was filled with data projections and recordings from the scout missions, providing a multi-sensory recap of human activities and interactions. Elders, the humans are both less and more than we anticipated, Zrig began, his voice resonating through the chamber. Less because their technological advancements, while impressive, do not match our own, and more because their capacity for rapid adaptation and mobilization is unlike anything we have encountered. A hologram flickered to life, showing snippets of the scouts' interactions with humans, including discreet meetings with political advisors, covert observations at military bases, and data intercepts from communication networks. Their planet is fractured by competing nation-states, each with its own agenda and fears about extraterrestrial threats, continued Zrig. Our challenge is to approach them in a way that does not trigger a unified defensive response against us. Elder Tarix, known for her expertise in interstellar diplomacy, raised a concern. The risk of exposure is high. If humans discover our true nature and capabilities prematurely, it could lead to widespread panic or aggression. We must tread carefully to avoid provoking a global alliance against us. The discussion then turned to the various strategic options available to the Federation. One suggestion was to increase the presence of cloaked ships around Earth, monitoring and intervening discreetly to steer human affairs away from potential conflict and chaos. Another was to select a single human government for initial contact, one that could serve as a mediator to others. Zrig proposed a third option, one that was more daring but potentially more rewarding. We could reveal ourselves selectively to a small group of human leaders who are deemed capable of understanding and discretion. We could share technology and knowledge in a controlled manner, fostering goodwill and positioning ourselves as benevolent visitors. This proposal sparked a vigorous debate among the elders. The risks were significant. The potential for misunderstanding or betrayal by the humans could jeopardize the Federation's strategic interests across the galaxy. As the debate raged, reports continued to arrive from the scout teams on Earth. One particularly alarming development was a sudden increase in human surveillance and counterintelligence efforts. It seemed that the increased alien activity, though subtle and cloaked, had not gone entirely unnoticed. "We may have less time than we think," warned Zrig, urging the Council to a decision. "Our hand may be forced soon, whether we choose it or not." Finally, a consensus was reached. The Federation would initiate a limited and controlled disclosure to a select group of human leaders. This group would include key figures from major powers such as the United States, China, Russia, and the European Union. The hope was that these leaders could be convinced of the Federation's peaceful intentions and collaborate on framing the narrative for their publics. Zrig was appointed to lead this delicate mission. Preparations began immediately for what would be the first official contact between the Galaxial Federation and humanity. The team crafted a detailed plan, selecting the time and place for the meeting and preparing messages that emphasized peace, cooperation, and mutual benefit. As the Xantarian delegation prepared to depart for Earth once more, the weight of their task was palpable. The success or failure of this mission would likely define the future of human-alien relations. Zrig felt the burden of responsibility deeply, knowing that every action, every word, would need to be carefully weighed and executed. The fate of interstellar peace hung in the balance as the delegation set course for Earth. Hopeful yet cautious of the unknown challenges that awaited them, the atmosphere aboard the Xantarian ship was tense as it once again approached Earth. Commander Zrig and his team were acutely aware that the upcoming meetings could mark a pivotal moment in interstellar relations. As the blue and green planet came into view, a sense of solemnity settled over the crew. This mission was not merely about diplomacy. It was about bridging two vastly different worlds. Zrig reviewed the plan with his team for the final time. The selected group of human leaders had been discreetly contacted through encrypted channels developed by the Federation's intelligence. Surprisingly, the initial reactions had been cautiously optimistic. The leaders were intrigued, and recognizing the potential implications of such contact, agreed to meet in a secure location, a secluded island in the Pacific, neutral and removed from major geopolitical flashpoints. The Xantarian delegation landed discreetly on the island at the designated hour. The human leaders, accompanied by minimal security to maintain the secrecy of the encounter, arrived shortly after. They represented the major powers on Earth, each aware of the monumental nature of this meeting. Zrig and his team deactivated their cloaking devices, revealing their true forms. The human leaders, despite their briefings, couldn't hide their initial reactions of shock and awe at the sight of the Xantarians, who were significantly taller and possessed features unfamiliar to human eyes, such as their multiple eyes and mandibles. "Esteemed leaders of Earth," Zrig began, his voice translated into multiple human languages through devices the team carried. "We come in peace, and with a hope to build a bridge between our worlds. We have watched your planet grow and face challenges both internally and externally. We believe that together, we can help each other overcome future adversities. The human leaders listened intently, their expressions a mix of curiosity and caution. The President of the United States spoke first, thanking the Xantarians for their peaceful approach and expressing an interest in understanding more about the technology and knowledge the Federation could share. Discussions flowed, covering topics from technological exchange to environmental management, and even the potential cultural impacts of such an interstellar relationship. The scientists in Zrig's team shared insights into their advanced technologies, particularly in energy generation and medical fields, which could solve many of Earth's pressing issues. However, the Russian president raised concerns about the balance of power, both on Earth and in relation to the Federation. How do we ensure that this relationship remains equitable and doesn't simply become a means for the Federation to assert dominance over Earth? He asked pointedly. Zrig acknowledged the concern sincerely. We seek not to dominate but to coexist and cooperate. We propose the establishment of an intergalactic council where Earth will have a seat alongside other planets in the Federation. Together, we can ensure that all voices are heard and respected. This proposal sparked interest and led to a deeper discussion about the political and governance structures that would be necessary to facilitate such a relationship. The Chinese premier suggested setting up a preliminary task force to explore these ideas further, composed of representatives from Earth and the Federation. As the meeting drew to a close, a declaration of peaceful intent and cooperation was drafted and signed by Zrig and all the human leaders present. This document was to be the foundation of future interactions, with plans for open and regular communications and a scheduled series of meetings to discuss detailed cooperation plans. The leaders departed with a new sense of hope and cautious optimism, while news of the encounter remained tightly sealed to avoid a premature public reaction. Back on the Xantarian ship, Zrig and his team felt a mix of relief and anticipation. They had successfully opened a door to a new chapter in galactic history, but the journey ahead would be full of challenges and learning. As the ship ascended from the island, returning to orbit, the team looked back at Earth. Now, not just a world to observe, but a partner to nurture. The possibilities were endless, and the future, for the first time in a long time, looked promising. As the Xantarian ship withdrew into the safety of space, Commander Zrig and his team didn't have long to revel in the success of their historic meeting. Soon, they were dealing with the complexities that followed their initial diplomatic breakthrough. Back on Earth, the ripple effects of the secret meeting were beginning to surface in unexpected ways. Despite the utmost caution taken by both the Xantarian delegation and the Earth leaders to keep the details of their interactions confidential, leaks started to emerge. The world's intelligence agencies, already on high alert due to the unusual activities and unexplained phenomena, picked up traces of encrypted communications and unusual satellite data pointing to the secluded island meeting. Within weeks, rumors of alien contact began to circulate within the upper echelons of global governments and the wider intelligence community. The leaders involved faced increasing pressure to disclose the nature of their secretive, off-the-record activities. The situation escalated as conspiracy theorists and investigative journalists pieced together enough information to suggest something extraordinary had occurred. Back on Minara 4, the news of the leaks reached the Federation Council, causing a stir among its members. Elder Tarex convened an emergency session to discuss the implications of these developments. Commander Zrig, the situation on Earth is evolving rapidly, Elder Tarex stated gravely. The secrecy of our meeting has been compromised. We must decide our next steps carefully to manage the potential fallout. Zrig, feeling the weight of the situation, responded, We anticipated the possibility of leaks. Our immediate priority should be to support the Earth leaders in managing their public narratives without exposing more about our capabilities or intentions. Meanwhile, on Earth, the U.S. President took a bold step to address the growing suspicions and unrest. In a closed session with key members of the United Nations Security Council, he revealed the existence of the Xantarian contact, framing it as a preliminary diplomatic exchange aimed at establishing peaceful and mutually beneficial relations. The revelation stunned the global community, sparking a wave of reactions ranging from fear and skepticism to excitement and curiosity. Back on Minara 4, The Council of Elders watched these developments closely. They were pleased with the smooth progression of relations, but remained vigilant, aware that not all human factions might welcome alien involvement in Earth's affairs. The Intelligence Division was tasked with monitoring any potential threats that could arise from radical groups or hostile nations. On Earth, as part of the technology exchange, the Xantarians introduced advanced medical devices capable of curing diseases that had long plagued humanity. They also shared efficient energy solutions that could significantly reduce the planet's reliance on fossil fuels, offering a cleaner, more sustainable future. However, as Earth began to adapt to these new technologies and insights, unforeseen challenges emerged. The rapid introduction of alien technologies disrupted traditional industries and labor markets, leading to economic upheavals in several regions. Moreover, the cultural impact of knowing they were not alone in the universe began to change societal values and beliefs in profound ways. The UNRC found itself not only managing diplomatic relations with the Federation, but also addressing the internal socioeconomic and cultural shifts that were sweeping across the globe. The road ahead was complex, and the initial euphoria of the first contact began to give way to a more nuanced reality. Commander Zrig, now serving as an advisor to Ambassador Thalrek, reflected on these developments. "Our journey together is just beginning," he remarked during a session with Earth's leaders. "Patience and understanding will be our greatest allies." As Earth adjusted to its place in a larger cosmos, the initial steps taken in Geneva laid the foundation for what many hoped would be a new era of prosperity and peace. Yet, as with any great change, the path forward would require navigating the challenges and opportunities that come with breaking new ground in intergalactic relations. As the initial euphoria of the Galactic Federation's first open contact with Earth began to settle, the real work of integrating two vastly different civilizations started in earnest. The world was rapidly transforming, influenced by both the promise of advanced alien technologies and the profound existential shift brought about by the undeniable presence of extraterrestrial life. The United Nations Intergalactic Relations Committee, UNIRC, now a pivotal body in global politics, was central to these efforts. It served as the bridge between human governments and the Galactic Federation, navigating the complex web of political, economic, and cultural adjustments necessary for a smooth transition into the galactic community. Meanwhile, on Earth, the introduction of Xantarian technologies had begun to reshape many aspects of daily life. The medical devices that cured previously incurable diseases were hailed as miracles, but they also prompted debates over bioethics and the future of human evolution. Energy solutions that reduced reliance on fossil fuels drastically cut carbon emissions, helping to combat climate change but also disrupting the global oil market, which had profound economic repercussions worldwide. These sweeping changes were not met with universal approval. Economic disruptions led to protests in various cities, where workers displaced by new technologies voiced their frustrations. Environmental activists, though supportive of the clean energy initiatives, expressed concerns about dependency on alien technology, fearing it might lead to new forms of ecological neglect or imbalance. Cultural impacts were perhaps the most profound. Traditional religious and philosophical beliefs were challenged by the reality of the Federation's existence, leading to a resurgence in spiritual and existential exploration. Schools and universities worldwide had to revise their curricula to include the new galactic perspective, forever altering how future generations would view their place in the universe. Amidst these global shifts, the political landscape was also evolving. The initial unity seen in the formation of the UNIRC began to crack as nations grappled with the internal pressures of rapid change. Some countries argued for greater control over the distribution and application of alien technologies, while others pushed for more open and free exchanges, fearing that too much regulation would stifle innovation and leave them behind in the new galactic economy. Commander Zrig, now a seasoned diplomat on Earth, worked closely with Ambassador Thalrek to address these growing pains. "We must be mindful not to let our assistance become a wedge that divides," Zrig advised during one of their strategy meetings. "The path of integration must be walked together, not imposed." Ambassador Thalrek took this advice to heart, proposing the creation of the Galactic Integration Task Force within the UNIRC. This task force was designed to help manage the technological transitions, support displaced industries and workers, and facilitate cultural exchanges that could build mutual understanding and respect. The Galactic Federation, observing these developments, began to realize that their relationship with Earth would be one of their most challenging endeavors. It wasn't just about sharing technology or expanding their influence. It was about fostering a true interstellar partnership, one that could withstand the inevitable conflicts and misunderstandings that arose from such a profound union. As Earth continued to navigate its new reality, the leaders of the UNIRC convened in Geneva to address the next big step: the formal inclusion of Earth as a member of the Galactic Federation. This historic move would require not only a unanimous vote from current Federation members, but also a commitment from Earth to uphold galactic laws and contribute to mutual defense and prosperity. The discussions were intense and fraught with political maneuvering, but the sense of historical significance was palpable. Earth was on the verge of joining a vast community of worlds, each with its own history and culture, united under the Federation's banner. As the vote approached, Commander Zrig looked out over Geneva, now a city transformed by interstellar diplomacy. He felt a mix of apprehension and hope. Joining the Federation was not just a diplomatic formality. It was a commitment to a shared future, one that held as many challenges as it did opportunities. The tide of change was unstoppable, and how humanity chose to ride it would define their fate among the stars. The halls of the United Nations in Geneva were bustling with activity and palpable tension as the day of the vote approached. Delegates from across Earth mingled with representatives of the Galactic Federation, each discussing the implications and potential outcomes of Earth's potential membership. The air was thick with anticipation, speculation, and for many, a sense of hope for a future that was once the stuff of science fiction. Commander Zrig, having become a fixture in these corridors, observed the interactions with a practiced eye. His experience as a diplomat had taught him the delicate dance of interstellar politics, but Earth presented unique challenges. The diversity of human cultures and political systems made the integration process intricate and unpredictable. Meanwhile, Ambassador Thalrek, alongside his team, conducted last-minute lobbying efforts, meeting with key delegates and heads of state. They presented detailed projections of the benefits of Federation membership, including economic growth, security enhancements, and access to a vast network of knowledge and resources. However, they were careful to address the responsibilities and commitments that came with membership, emphasizing the importance of unity and cooperation in facing galactic challenges. On the eve of the vote, a special session was held, open to the public and broadcast globally. Leaders from the Federation and Earth took the stage to make their final cases. The President of the United States spoke passionately about the opportunities for peace and advancement, while the Premier of China highlighted the strategic advantages of being part of a larger, more powerful community. However, it was the words of an unexpected speaker, a young environmental activist from India, that captured the global audience's attention. "We stand at the threshold of a new era, not just for our planet, but for all of humanity," she said, her voice resonant and clear. "Joining the Galactic Federation isn't just about what we gain, but also what we can contribute. It's about ensuring that as we step into this larger universe, we don't lose sight of our responsibilities to our planet, to each other, and to the galactic community." Her speech, widely shared and discussed, helped to sway public opinion, which had been divided. Polls showed a shift towards a more favorable view of Federation membership, with many citing the need for a unified approach to the future challenges Earth would face, both locally and in the broader galaxy. The day of the vote arrived. The UN Assembly Hall was packed, with every seat filled and additional viewers from around the world watching through virtual feeds. After hours of final debates and discussions, the vote was cast. The result was nearly unanimous in favor. Earth would become a member of the Galactic Federation. Cheers erupted both inside the Assembly Hall and across cities around the world. It was a moment of triumph, a historic milestone marking Earth's official entry into the galactic community. As the celebrations continued, Commander Zrig and Ambassador Thalrek met privately to discuss the next steps. "The hard work begins now," Thalrek stated solemnly. "Membership is only the beginning. We must ensure that Earth integrates smoothly into the Federation, respecting its laws and contributing to its missions." Zrig nodded in agreement. "We will need to be vigilant and supportive. The challenges Earth faces in adapting its institutions and systems for galactic integration will be significant, but I am optimistic. Today, we witnessed a planet united by a common vision. It's a strong foundation to build upon." In the weeks and months that followed, Earth began the process of integration. Federation advisors were assigned to work with Earth governments to align legal, economic, and security systems with galactic standards. Cultural exchange programs were launched, and Earth's brightest minds were invited to join interstellar research and exploration missions. As Earth adapted to its new role in the galaxy, its people began to see themselves not just as citizens of their own countries, but as part of a larger cosmic community. It was a profound transformation, one that would continue to evolve and challenge them in ways they could never have imagined. But with the support of the Galactic Federation and the resilience of humanity, Earth was ready to take its place among the stars, embracing its new role with determination and hope. The integration of Earth into the Galactic Federation marked a new chapter in human history. The once distant and mysterious stars were now part of humanity's extended community, and the Earth was bustling with preparations for its new role in this broader cosmic context. Schools, universities, and public institutions expanded their curriculums and programs to include galactic studies, fostering a generation equipped to navigate and contribute to interstellar society. Commander Zrig and Ambassador Thalrek continued to play pivotal roles in this transitional phase. Their efforts were now focused on smoothing out the bumps in the road, addressing the socio-economic shifts, the technological upheavals, and the cultural adaptations necessary for a seamless integration. Amidst this backdrop, the Galactic Federation initiated the Earth Galactic Partnership Program, EGPP, a comprehensive initiative designed to facilitate technology transfer, cultural exchange, and joint ventures in space exploration. This program was not just about sharing knowledge and resources. It was about creating a platform for ongoing dialogue and collaboration. One of the first major projects under the EGPP was the construction of the Terra Galactic Cultural Center, located in Nairobi, Kenya. This center was designed to be a hub of cultural learning and exchange, offering Earth citizens a first-hand experience of galactic culture through exhibitions, workshops, and seminars conducted by visiting members from various planets within the Federation. Simultaneously, the Earth's Defense Coalition was formed, integrating Earth's military capabilities with the Federation's defense strategies. This coalition aimed to protect Earth and the Federation against any potential threats, ensuring the security and stability of their shared space. The establishment of this coalition also facilitated the development of new technologies, including advanced propulsion systems and energy weapons, which were tested and refined in joint military exercises. However, the road was not without its challenges. Economic disparities between regions on Earth became more pronounced as certain areas advanced more rapidly due to their engagement with galactic technologies and industries. This led to political tensions and calls for a more equitable distribution of the benefits of galactic integration. To address these issues, the United Nations, in collaboration with the Galactic Federation, launched the Global Equity Initiative. This initiative aimed to ensure that all regions of Earth could benefit from new technologies and economic opportunities, promoting sustainable development and reducing inequalities. In the cultural realm, the impact of joining the Galactic Federation was profound. Artists, musicians, and writers drew inspiration from their new galactic neighbors, creating works that reflected the expanded understanding of the universe. These cultural expressions not only enriched Earth's cultural landscape, but also helped to ease the apprehension and fear that some still felt about the alien presence. Commander Zrig, reflecting on the journey so far, noted in a report to the Federation Council, "Earth is making significant strides in its integration process. While there are challenges, the enthusiasm and resilience of its people are commendable. They are eager to contribute to and learn from the galactic community." As Earth continued to carve out its place in the galaxy, the focus shifted towards deeper space exploration. Joint missions were planned, involving Earth's astronauts and Federation explorers, aimed at charting unknown regions of the galaxy. These missions promised not only to expand the frontiers of human knowledge, but also to solidify Earth's position as a valuable member of the Galactic Federation. As the decade drew to a close, Earth had not only adapted to its new role but had begun to thrive. The sense of unity and purpose that had propelled it into the Federation continued to drive its efforts to become a central player in the galactic arena. Commander Zurg, watching from his office in the Terra Galactic Cultural Center, felt a surge of pride and optimism. Earth, with all its diversity and complexity, was indeed proving to be a remarkable addition to the cosmic community. Ready to face whatever challenges and adventures lay ahead in the vast star-studded universe,